America, the 1970s didn't start with the confidence and hope of a new decade. It started with exhaustion. The Vietnam War was still dragging on, and every night the news showed images people didn't want to see anymore. Protests were happening all over the country on college campuses. The Pentagon Papers had just been released, which shook people's trust in the government. Inflation was rising, jobs were disappearing, and the sense of stability that defined the 1950s and early 60s felt like it had slipped away. For decades, Americans had been told a simple story: work hard, follow the rules, and you'll build a good life. This is the American dream. Steady job, house, family, and a sense of progress. But in 1971, that dream didn't feel guaranteed, and for many, it didn't even feel possible at all. People were questioning institutions, authority, and the system as a whole. When people started doubting the system, they became fascinated by anyone who seemed to slip through its cracks. That's the climate this mystery started in, but more specifically, it is based in the Pacific Northwest, a region consisting of Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and British Columbia. The region is shaped by the Pacific Ocean to the west, the Cascade Mountains running north to south, dense forests, heavy rainfall, and rugged terrain. It has a mix of coastal cities and isolated rural communities. In the 1970s, the area was not the tech-driven, fast-growing region it is today, and it had its own unique atmosphere in an already bleak climate in the country at this time. While the country was dealing with inflation and political tension, the Pacific Northwest had an additional problem: the Boeing bust. Boeing, the region's biggest employee, laid off tens of thousands of workers, and entire neighborhoods throughout Seattle felt half empty. You could drive through the streets and see many for sale signs. A famous billboard near the airport read, "Will the last person leaving Seattle turn out the lights?" This wasn't a joke, it was a reflection of real fear that the city was collapsing. On top of this, Oregon, Washington's neighbour, was heavily tied to logging, mills, and manufacturing, all industries that were slowing down. Due to the geography of the Pacific Northwest, mountains, forests, and long distances between towns, it had a lingering sense of independence and isolation. They were used to harsh weather, making their own way and keeping to themselves, a mindset that made the idea of someone simply disappearing into the wilderness believable. The social climate of the time is important in this case, as economic frustration meant that there could have been a motive for someone to hijack an airplane and ask for $200,000, which is worth $1.6 million in today's currency, so the amount was life-changing. He could have been a laid-off engineer from the Boeing bust, a veteran struggling to reintegrate, or just one of the many Americans feeling the system had failed them. Anti-establishment culture was rising because of this, and he may have seen himself as an outlaw, Robin Hood-style character who wanted to beat the system.